Three, two, one. Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast. Today I am here with my good friend for a long time now, Porter.
Hey, what's going on?
So Porter and I were friends in high school, and still friends now. We're both in college.
Yeah, we occasionally talk.
Occasionally. Do you want to introduce yourself any more than that?
Yeah, so I'm Porter. Obviously, like he said, I've been friends with him. I'm currently attending college up in Idaho, and I am going into communications with an emphasis in visual to hopefully one day do design and all of that stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
Sweet. I don't think I ever mentioned in the past podcast what I'm studying, so I guess I'll do that now. Part 3 is a good enough time, I guess.
Structure, man.
Yeah, structure. I'm studying just graphic design. I haven't really picked an emphasis yet, but Porter and I went to B-Dubs today, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh yeah,
and we just been talking along the way as we do because it's been a little while. But before we get into what I wanted to talk about later, I think it's so funny how different our conversations are now than they were when we were in high school.
Well. Yeah, obviously.
I mean, obviously, but they're almost way different.
I just think the biggest difference between how we used to talk when we were in high school and how we talk now, obviously we're older now, but now we talk about a nostalgic sense. Like when we mention stuff, we're like, yeah, this happened, the good times, But back in high school, I was like, these moments were in that time, and I was like, I hate this, or this sucks. Why did this happen, or why is this happening to me? But now I'm like, I remember that. So it's totally different.
Man, getting old sucks.
Yeah, it's just the responsibility.
Speaking of which, you recently turned 21 now.
So. Yeah, I just turned 21, so I can legally drink.
Legit.
Which is exactly all I've ever wanted and more.
He's not gonna drink.
I believe in sobriety, but
oh my gosh. Speaking of nostalgic, what is your favorite high school memory? I feel like it's kind of sucks because we don't have Cassidy here, our other friend to talk. But I was definitely gonna get him on later. Maybe we can get one of all of us again at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure, Christmas. But see, that's so hard to narrow it down because, like I said, for a long time I was like, man, I hate I hated a lot of the things that happened. But I definitely think one of my favorite high school memories of all time was when we were seniors. We had this thing called Lagoon Day, and Lagoon is a amusement park kind of near where we grew up and where we live. I guess where you live. I don't live near it anymore. And so we were all going to go and have this wonderful merry time. And I was parched because I didn't bring any water because I'm super intelligent. And I was like, I don't need water. And this was before the time of germs and pandemic. So drinking fountains are a thing, but that's disgusting. I'm not going to drink out of drinking fountains. So eventually I was like, you know what? I don't care how overpriced this Coke bottle is. I don't care if it's $3 or less than a liter of Coke. I'm buying it. So there I was, standing in line, ready to get myself a freaking refresher. I walk up and I feel something grab my hand, and I'm like, what's going on? I turn around and it's my friend Cassidy. He's staring at me. He's like, stop. You're embarrassing me. And I'm like, I think he's genuine. I think he's genuine. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm embarrassing you? And he's like, you're embarrassing me. And I'm like, I just want to buy a Coke. What am I doing? I'm sorry I let you down.
The best part about that is I'm behind both of these guys, and I see Porter talking, and in the corner of my eye, I see Cassidy shaking his face.
It was terrifying.
Shaking it to get it to turn red, and then you stepped out of line, and then he grabbed your hand. Oh, the best part too is he yelled it super loud, so people in line from
he made a scene.
He made a scene.
I was embarrassing him because I was making a scene off of it.
Oh, so funny, dude. That was
a good time.
That day. Before I get to mine, that was when we were in line to go on the cannibal ride there.
Yeah.
And I don't like roller coasters. I don't.
Oh, we forced you to go on
You forced me to go on that roller coaster.
We were jerks.
You were, well, no, I'm glad you guys made me do it, but it was the worst because I'm on that thing and I was like, this is like the scariest ride in the park and I'm going on this and they have me on the outside edge. So it's 4 people in the front, 4 people in the back. I'm on the front outside edge.
We made you be on the front?
There was no track underneath me.
That's
the entire
awesome.
Time.
What an introduction.
And I was like, oh, so we're going and the kids behind us, right? The ride starts. I'm freaking out. Cassie's looking at me. Garrett's sitting behind me too. They're laughing at me, right? And I go into this thing and it goes up in the elevator before it takes you to the top and shows you like the drop. The elevator's pitch black. The kids behind me. Did
we do that, or is that from the ride itself?
No, that was kids behind us.
Kids behind us were doing that? I don't even remember. That's amazing.
Freaked me out. My heart rate was going so fast. And then, like, I was screaming, and I get to the bottom, my eyes are tearing up from screaming and wind getting into it. Holy cow.
I'm surprised you didn't cry. I thought you were going to cry.
I didn't cry. Tears came down my eyes because wind was gushing into them.
I think
you were
upset, hands down.
No, I wasn't. It was scary, but if I was going to do it, if anyone was going to convince me, it was going to be you guys to do it. Like, I wasn't going to not do it on senior day.
Oh, of course. Like, I mean, the epitome of our friendship was if you jump off a bridge.
We all have to jump off a bridge.
We all have to jump off a bridge. Like, I'm not going to fear of missing out and just not jump off a bridge with you guys and hear about it later, you know?
No, exactly. If one of us is going to get shot, we all have to get shot.
Exactly. It's just how it goes.
I'm glad none of us wanted to be tased.
I actually did want to be tased at one point.
Really?
So, I know this is kind of off topic.
That's fine.
But in college, it was my first year, my roommate actually had a taser. Don't ask me why he just had a taser. But it looked like a flashlight, and he would, like, take off, like, the head. And it was a taser. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. But, like, I straight up was like, I want to be tased. And my girlfriend at the time was like, no, you're not getting tased. I'm like, but I want to be tased. And she's like, no, you're not going to be tased. Long story short, I didn't get tased, but I just saw, like, that blue lightning, and my first instinct was let me touch it, you know? Like, I don't want to say I'm, like, a cat, and I see something bright and, you know, amusing, and curiosity kills the cat, but, like, I wanted to touch that blue lightning right there.
I would rather be tased, though, over than pepper sprayed.
Pepper sprayed is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been pepper sprayed. Don't worry, guys. I've never been pepper sprayed. But I've heard stories. My uncle's actually a cop.
Oh, yeah.
And they have to get pepper sprayed and tased, I think. I don't know if you have to get tased, but I know you have to get pepper sprayed.
You have to do both.
You have to do both?
I'm pretty sure.
Why would you ever want to do that? But
I don't know.
Again, I just said I wanted to get tased, so.
That's true. You can't do something I think the idea is, like, you can't do something to someone else if you haven't experienced the pain yourself.
No, that makes sense. So, like, yeah, and you said pepper spraying was, like, the worst. And, like, sometimes, like, you'll get, like, your eyes will, like, be swollen and shut, and it just hurts. And I've seen people walk around campus with pepper spray on their keychains. I get really scared. I mean, I'm not going to do anything, but I'm like...
Yeah, don't get...
What if you're just like, hey, and they're like...
I watched Unis Honest. They pepper sprayed themselves.
Unis Honest? Is that Markiplier?
That was Markiplier and Ethan. It's done now.
Yeah, didn't they erase all the videos?
Mm-hmm. I watched the live stream. Dude, that live stream was actually high-key depressing. It was 12 hours, and I think I listened/watched 10 hours.
So what was the reasoning for deleting everything?
The idea was just that, like, something on the internet could die. Is like the idea is that death comes for us all, and that way, the thing is so the idea is that everything can die. Everything can die. All of us will die. So death comes for us all, and, like, to do the most with what you can. So they purposely put everything they could into, like, everything they could in this channel for a year. Posted every day. Not every video was like top tier, but they put, you know.
Yeah.
And then the idea was that they wanted to make something so like that so much that people would mourn when it's gone. And people did go through, like, I saw things online where people were actually, like, mourning the loss of this YouTube channel.
Wow.
It was weird. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of depressed too for like a day.
What the heck?
It was weird. It was so sick though, and I'm not gonna lie, that's a big reason why I decided, like, I want to start doing stuff on YouTube again, because I'm like, I liked doing it, so why did I ever stop?
No, I get that. I feel like a lot of people lose their hobbies and interests. They're just like, oh my gosh, who cares? I did that when I was a kid, but no, I want to leave a legacy. freaking famous when I die.
I don't know if I necessarily want to be famous, but I was like,
No, I know. I get where you're going. So
it was crazy though, because the last live, like they had a countdown on all the videos, right? The last live stream, the countdown was going the entire time, and it gets to the last 5 seconds, and they all just look up and they say thank you, and then 3, 2, 1, and they clicked, and it went black screen because they deleted the channel live, and it was black screen for about 5 seconds because that was probably about the live stream kind of lag,
yeah,
and then it popped up with channel no longer exist or like playback error or something like that.
That's crazy.
It was so nice.
That's crazy.
My girlfriend was with me, and like she doesn't even know Unisonics that much, but she sat there and watched it with me, and we both just sat there in silence. I was like, wow, that was depressing.
That's profound.
That was crazy.
My goodness gracious.
Anyways, though, I'm okay with going off topic with this because like that's kind of want to have us. The main idea for this is to talk. Like we plan out what to kind of talk about.
We have topics, but I will admit,
I think it's more interesting to just listen with flow with what happens, and I feel like me and you have a decently good conversation flow. Like we can go from one thing to another.
Yeah, I hope.
I hope so too. High school memory though, from my favorite one is crap. I had it, and then we were talking about that, and I lost it.
Oh, wow.
I think I would have to say I did really enjoy filming. Like
from Iraq.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can say his name. I don't.
A teacher's name. I don't do podcasts, so
it's okay. Like you really say it, but we like when we filmed the dankest memes. I had so much fun with those.
I feel like we need some background on Quest for the Dankest Meme and kind of what it was. So since I am the CEO and creator of dankestmeme.net, so Quest for the Dankest Meme was an ambitious project of mine. I'm kind of a visionary. So there I was sitting in class one day, and we had to do a video project. It was our first video project. We were like, sophomores, juniors in high school, like young bucks. And so I was like, okay, well, what do I enjoy and what do I want to film on? And I realized at that point, all I cared about in my life was memes. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make the most epic meme series of my lifetime. And, I don't really talk about this, or I always say, oh, it's a joke. But, like, when I first filmed it, I wanted it to be funny, but I kind of wanted it to be, like, legit. Action, thriller, adventure.
We most definitely did not.
Quest for the Dankest Meme with some humor, like the humor aspect.
It was all humor.
It was all humor. It was a joke of a video. But, like, at that time, I was like, thriller, epic, think of Quest for the Dankest Meme, think of, like, Legend of Zelda riddles and all this stuff. So at storyboarding, I print out some memes, and we're like, okay, we're going to follow me, Peyton, and our buddy Cassidy through this journey of finding the Dankest Meme, a.k.a. Quest for the Dankest Meme. And it was trash. The video itself was trash. The production value was trash. I mean, granted, we were sophomores, but
in high school.
But it left such a resonating effect on our class for being so stupid.
There is 6 parts now.
There are 6 parts because
one's a prequel.
One's a prequel, and then we have a prequel sequel. No, we don't have a prequel sequel. We should have a prequel sequel. I think we were going to, and then I think we finally decided to retire it.
No, what happened was our teacher pulled us aside and said if we turned in one more thing that said the word dank or meme in it again, he would fail it instantly.
Oh yeah, he was like, okay, I let you have your fun. It's time to fail.
Quest for the Dankest Meme should not have gone as
long
as it did.
We filmed it, and I think we filmed it in one day. It was one class period. It was less than an hour. We filmed it in less than an hour. The acting's terrible. We don't even really have lead characters, and the plot is that Cassidy actually betrayed us. He acted like we were all trying to find it, and then we ended up fighting. He killed Peyton.
Should I ask Cassidy if I can upload him to this channel?
We should.
I know it's a huge joke, but like, and I'm trying to be more professional with this than previous tries at YouTube, but I feel like we should upload it so we don't lose it, because I know where the flash drive is now, and I don't even have all of them, sadly.
Last flash drive.
Yeah, no.
Maybe one day people will mourn the death of Quest for the Dankest Meme,
like they did Unisonics.
Yeah, and then so Cassidy killed Peyton. What did I do? I don't know what happened to me.
You got put to sleep.
I got put to sleep like a dog,
Mm-hmm.
but it was hypnosis.
But we did not portray that in any way, shape, or form.
I just feel like I was alive in the second one. The second one was probably the best one. I feel like it really was a tearjerker. So eventually,
I don't have the second.
The second one was my favorite. I think that one's where we got ambitious with production. Hear me out, guys. We had our buddy standing on a chair proclaiming that he is the Lord and Savior of memes, essentially. The meme god.
Oh, my God.
And we were kneeling down, and it made it look like we were shorter than him. Like, absolute amazing production value.
That's the best one, and I don't think I have it.
And then we had the, oh, what you say. That was beautiful.
Oh, my gosh.
But Quest for the Dingus meme was fun. I started it, and then they all made their own. And then I made one more.
Did you make an anime opening?
I did make an anime opening.
It was a prequel.
Yes.
An anime opening. But the anime opening was from us in previous days.
It
doesn't make any sense.
But it was beautiful.
The lore, man. The lore.
But that's where my production value went for that. That was where my budget went. My 5-cent budget I had went to making this anime opening. The rest of the video was trash. I think that was my least favorite one.
I'm pretty sure it was after that one when he pulled us aside and told us this. His name.
I felt like
it's fine.
There was no. I felt like that was I felt like the production quality was the highest, but I felt like the passion, the drive for Quest for the Dinkus meme died at that point. And because we made our 3, and then I was like, I couldn't think of anything. So like, hey guys, let's make a prequel, and it was still good. I guess it had an anime opening.
We did. Every one had the same plot. 3 clues led to the end.
Well, I mean, with the amount of time we had, I don't want to.
That's true.
Well, remember, because I started with balloon heads. And we had the balloon head fighting one. And then I had to pull the plug because I was like, I can't do this.
I forgot.
Like, this will take me way too long for that stupid high school project.
Yeah.
That was awesome, though.
I forgot about the balloons. I honestly did forget. Only reason why I still remember it is because we had a picture of me.
I still have it on my old phone.
Dude.
On my old phone, not my new one.
Oh my god.
But my old shattered iPhone 5 still has so many memories from the good old days. We did a lot of video back in the day, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We had like High School Stereotypes, which was the worst acting ever.
Yeah, that one's not being posted. I have it. That's not being posted.
And then we had the what did we call the house one?
The Perfects.
The Perfects. That was actually like I'm gonna sit down. That was most of our filming was kind of for jokes. But like that one was actually good.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that was there's stuff that I would do different, of course, this time if we're doing it
now.
But that was probably the best thing. That and the video we put together, We Are One, for the principal.
Oh, I remember that was weird.
We Are One is honestly, I think The Perfects is our second. We Are One, I think, is the best thing we ever put together.
I didn't really I wasn't in the class.
Oh, you weren't?
But I still helped out.
Yeah, you did. Okay, so The Perfects is the one that other than that, I think that's
We Are One, because at that point they trusted us to actually make school-wide.
That was the most stressful thing. We're sitting there in class, Cassidy and I, because you were in that class at the time.
Because this was senior year. I couldn't put. It was either that or have no release time to just go home, and I want to go home.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, sorry guys.
It's good. So our teacher comes up to us and says the principal needs a video that she's going to show to the school board. And I was like, she wants us to put this together? This is not a good idea.
Wait, she showed it to the school board?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's why we had to make sure it was good. So the thing is, we had 2 days to put it together.
It was only 2 days?
Mm-hmm. But honestly, it was 2 days. It was 2 school days. It was a Friday and a Monday. Then we had the weekend.
Okay.
So we did some like B-roll shooting on the weekend and editing on the weekend, and then we finished it all on Monday. But we used that excuse to skip every class for 2 days.
Dang, dude.
But it was honestly one of probably the best things that we've done, I think.
Yeah, I just remember the final shoot was we had that like, what did we do to get that aerial shot?
It was that big heavy arm gimbal, I think is what they call it.
And it was so hard to maneuver.
It was so hard and then it didn't work out.
And then the students didn't really like it.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Well, the students didn't really participate like they said they would. They just messed around.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That kind of made me mad, 'cause, like, that last shot
you guys
was
wanted
meant
my
to be
help
something.
for that.
Yeah,
You
that
guys
last
asked
shot
me.
was supposed to be something cool, but it's fine. The
What
rest, I don't have that either. That one, that's on my flash drive, but it broke.
It corrupted.
It corrupted.
Dang, dude.
I know.
That was a pretty solid one.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was also thinking while you were talking about the Quest of Dinkus memes, like another probably favorite is the first time me, you, and Cassidy hung out at like my house in the basement. We played Diablo.
Diablo 3.
Mm-hmm.
Diablo 3.
That was sick because like for some reason we started playing and then like we were kind of friends, but we only kind of really knew each other from class.
Our whole thing that brought us to be friends was purely video games.
Yes.
And our love for the same video games.
Yes.
So when we would hang out, it would be very surface level. It would be like, let's go play Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
And we would legit just focus on Borderlands.
But
or
then,
Undertale or...
Undertale was a bit different.
But like,
yeah.
it was like I think Borderlands. We put a lot of Borderlands up first.
Yes, we did.
Then...
But then that Diablo time we sat down and played Diablo, for some reason we just started talking.
Yeah, like we didn't even end
deep.
up playing.
No.
We ended up playing Diablo, which sucks because that's a great game. Game advice supporter. Diablo 3. Buy it.
It's pretty fun. I did have a good time playing with you guys.
Blizzard, sponsor me.
But no, that was fun because like that was the first time we really started talking.
Yeah.
And I think from there on and then I honestly think Undertale helped a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm just mad Cassie beat the freaking final boss after we left. That evil guy. Well, on one of the playthroughs. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil Undertale. No, it's been out for like 5 years.
If you haven't played it and you're interested in playing a good game,
go buy it.
Undertale.
Toby
so
Fox,
good.
sponsor me. No, it's a solid one.
No, it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that helps too.
Yeah, and then we took like 1,000 digital media
classes.
I mean, digital media has always been kind of like that one thing we all have in common.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we like the creative side of things. Which digital media was great. That's where I learned my love for design, but I was garbage.
Yeah, I mean, that's where like it's because of that too that I've learned my love for design, and that's why like I wanted to go into it is because of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But man, I'm with you, dude. I see some of the stuff I made, and like I don't blame some of our teachers for thinking we were some of the worst in the class.
Oh gosh,
because
one of our teachers, we took this thing. It was at this place. It was like at our school. It was like some other high school, but it had like a bunch of like specialized CTE. I don't know if you guys know what CTE is, but CTE was like career
training,
technical education.
Or,
and it was like foods, like you had like a culinary class, a design class. They had some programming classes. They even had dental. Hairstyling, like they had it was really cool actually that they had that. Now I look back and look, because a lot of people
don't have that opportunity.
But it was, so we took this design class because I think this is probably when I was like, yeah, design is kind of what I want to do for college, and so I was like, I want to take like the design class, and so I feel like I did okay in some projects. Some I just memed because in high school all I did was meme.
Yeah, we memed through so much of those.
Memed through so much. There's sometimes where maybe I should take that more serious, but I don't really care. But yeah, we memed a lot in high school.
I made some awful stuff in
we made
class.
Some pretty bad things, but actually 2 years later, like after my sophomore year of high school, I actually saw the teacher of the class, and I talked to him. Like, hey man, what's up? I'm not going to use his name because I'm smarter than that now.
We've already used one, but
it doesn't matter. I'm smarter than that.
I don't know if they could spell his name if they wanted to.
I'm smarter than that. So I saw him and I talked to him, and he was like, "So what are you doing? What are you doing at the moment?" I'm like, "I'm in college and I'm studying graphic design." And this guy is like, "Really? You're studying graphic design?" I'm like, yeah, I actually have a job. I've been working for the U.S. Army doing some design work. And he's like, no way. You were garbage in my class. And I'm like, I'm better now. He's like, I sure hope so. Because, yeah, you were not good. He was just honest with me. And I was like, I don't care. But,
I've run into him after we graduated too once. He didn't say anything to me. But I also didn't tell him, like at that time I wasn't studying graphic design. I just asked him if I could come in and use the computers because I needed to make something. And he gave me permission, and I went in one day, but he had a sub that day and that sub wouldn't let me come in and use the room. So I just made something awful in Microsoft Word and turned it in.
Gosh, I can't believe you use Microsoft. You didn't even like think, oh, maybe I can find some like free design software.
So it wasn't for a design class; it was for an English class, and everyone else was just going to use Word. So I'm going to do some better and use Illustrator, and I was like, no, this is too much work. I'm not gonna.
That's funny. Poor you.
I know, but it was whatever. That class was so easy, and it was an English class. I don't know why I was so.
So that's when you went to the other college.
Yeah.
You go to now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I was still living at home, and I was doing college stuff while living at home before I moved away.
A full-time job. And
yeah.
See, I didn't. I was like, I'm out.
Freaking frying chicken, bro.
Frying chicken. And pizza.
And pizza. Okay, I gotta say though, oh, I loved it when you worked at Domino's.
Yeah, because I'd give you free pizza.
You'd give me free stuff all the time.
Because I was one of the managers. I was one of the like 3 managers we had. And so I didn't care. I was done. I would just give friends free pizza. Domino's, please don't come to my house and film me. But, yeah, that was Domino's was a okay.
Remember when you wrote that message on the box and like have my kids, and it was my parents.
It was your parents who ordered it. Yes, I remember that vaguely. I mean, profoundly. 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 I don't know. Okay. I'm using really weird verbiage. But, yeah, no, ignore me. Okay, Domino's was terrible. But there's one thing Domino's did teach me. It taught me a lot of soft skills. Domino's was good for one thing. It taught me how to work on a deadline. Because up to that point, I never had deadlines. And that's what my other job, doing design for the Army, taught me as well. Is I had my boss come in, and she would be like, hey, Porter, how you doing? Good morning. I'm like, good morning. She's like, hey, can you design this in 20 minutes? And I'm like, 20 minutes? 20 minutes? Like 20 or like 2 hours? She's like, no, I need this in 20 minutes. I'm going to post it. I'm like, in 20 minutes. Like, we're clear in 20 minutes. She's like, yeah, actually 18 minutes now. So, get on it. And I'm like, what? So.
You can't design something good in 20 minutes.
It was okay. I've learned, okay.
Was that the Pioneer thingy?
Yeah, I did that in 20 minutes.
That was dope, actually. You made that pretty decent for 20 minutes.
Yeah, no. I can working under stress. I'm going to tell you this right now. It's probably like the number one skill that you should have going into the workforce. If you can work under pressure and work within deadlines and have a fast ability to learn, you'll get almost any job you want. I mean, not like literally, but like...
I'm going to be a doctor now.
Not like that. But I mean, let's say you go to college and you're studying programming. Let's talk programming. And you need to know basic knowledge of the thing. You can't not know anything. But like, let's say you know some coding languages and you're like, okay, I'm going to go apply for a job. And you just show that, and they're like, we don't use any of those. And you're like, oh, should I A, give up? Or B, tell them, oh, but I'll learn this. Always go with B. And if they like you, I mean, an interviewer can tell if they like you or not within like the first 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Your whole, you can go through the full interview, but I'm going to tell you this right now. The first 15 seconds, if an interviewer doesn't like you, you don't have the job.
No, you won't.
Most likely. Unless you're like super duper qualified. But like, no. I've had jobs where it was obvious that the person didn't like me within the first 15 seconds. Like, remember your interview at the warehouse job?
Yeah, warehouse job. Oh my gosh. So I went in for that interview, right? And she had not been told that she had an interview, the girl given to me, and she was trying to leave for the day. So I kept her over the time then she needed to, like, she was supposed to be home. When she walked down and saw me sitting there, and she goes, oh, I have an interview? And I was like, yeah, I can come back tomorrow. She goes, no, let's do it today. But at that point, she wanted to go home. So that interview for me was screwed from the beginning because she walked me through it very fast. And then she wanted to go home. But I had questions, so I was making sure I asked questions because I was also told asking questions is a good way to, like, good practice for when you're in an interview. So I was trying to do that too, but she wanted to leave. And let's just say I got called back that same day telling me I did not get the job.
Yeah, no. Well, here's the thing about interviews. You also have to interview the interviewer about the company. Like, it's also for you to find out if you're a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, It's really tough though in the job world when sometimes you don't get a job not because of you at all. It's purely because the interviewer's in a bad mood or they came late.
Well, did I tell you about my interview at the supermarket that I worked at?
No,
when I got hired?
you haven't.
Okay, so I go in, I'm talking to the manager, right, of the whole store, and he's giving me my interview, and then he offers me the job, and I was like, I still haven't put in 2 weeks yet. I need 2 weeks at my other job first. And he goes, fair enough. We'll see you back in here on this day for like a follow-up interview. And I was like, okay, sweet. So I worked my next 2 weeks throwing sod, and then I went to that job again and sat down again, and he's like, okay, well, you still interested? And I was like, yeah. And we went through like another small interview process. This guy loved me. I got him to laugh, which is always a good sign. And so like I was in with this guy,
Yeah.
And then he calls me and he goes, okay, this is your like
tentative offer.
No, this is your my manager over the deli came in. So it's like,
okay.
So yeah. He was like, this will be who your boss is, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, hi. And like I introduced myself. It was very clear from that second she walked in, she had no idea I was being hired. No idea. So then she told me like what day to come in, and I went in, and and as I was leaving the store, I'm like, this is not going to be good, because she had no idea that I was being put into her department. My department. That's what the word I was looking for.
Department. So, look at you.
So I show up the next day at work, and she's like kind of training me and whatnot. And then I find out one of the assistant managers is a girl we went to school with.
In that design class. Who she despised both of us.
She actually really despised both of us. I'll get to that in a sec, though. But so like she was also helping training me. Then a coworker of mine, new coworker, pulls me aside and was like, "How did you get here?" And I was like, what do you mean? I drove here. Like,
I got in my car.
It was very clear that I was the only guy back there in that kitchen. And she goes, oh, frick, I probably shouldn't have said it. I'm going to bleep that.
You're going to bleep that out.
I'm going to bleep that out. My department head doesn't hire guys. She didn't hire guys because she thinks high school guys and any other guys are just too dumb to work back there in the kitchen. So I was like, frick.
No men can cook.
So I was like, I'm screwed. She doesn't like me, didn't know I was being hired, and got thrown in her department. So what happened then was I proved to her that I was wrong. I was probably one of her best workers back there, besides maybe the assistant manager. But like that, I honestly think she tried to get me to quit.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, she did not want me.
She hazed you, man.
Yeah, I know. But it worked out in the end, I guess.
You quit eventually.
I did quit eventually, but I mean, like,
thank goodness.
I wasn't going to work that job the rest of my life. And honestly, this job wasn't very fun.
No,
but
it was your typical fast food job. I
actually liked it because it was the only social interaction I was getting the entire time I was.
Because you were also going to college.
Yeah, and you guys had left.
I had left, and Cassidy, where did he go? Oh, he
moved. So I was.
Oh, shoot.
I'll bleep that out too. I'm gonna have to listen to this. And
I'm giving away all our personal.
I know.
If you guys want my social security number,
that's his social security number.
Yeah. So here's the interesting thing about the job world is just like, that I've learned. Like, I'll go back to an interview with the Army place I worked at. I knew from the moment I walked in that I had that job. When I sat down in like 15 seconds, I gave her a handshake, and I was like, hey guys, my name is Porter. Whatever my last name is, I can't remember, shockingly. I'm applying for the, what was my job title? Public affairs intern position. And she's like, okay, what can you do? That was the first suggestion. Like, what's your skills? What's your portfolio? So luckily, I printed out my portfolio. My portfolio, sorry. And I just slid it. It's in my manila folder. I'm like, yeah, take this. And I could just see, like, her facial expressions, and I knew right then and there, I'm like, I have this. And I was like, I know. Journalism, Illustrator, Photoshop, all this stuff. And, like, this interview should have took, like, 30 minutes turned into an hour and a half interview. Because after that, she made me meet the entire team. So I met the entire team.
At that point, you got.
At that point,
yeah.
I'm sorry. If you're meeting the crew and the team, 90% of the time you have the job. Not saying ease up and just be like super casual then, but like like don't have freak out. I knew that, and then she brought me back to her thing, and I met the commander of that army installation, and I was like, yeah, I have the job. And then we spent like another 30 minutes talking about things that we want to accomplish while I'm there.
Dang.
So 2 different interviews completely.
Both at the same time.
Both around the same time, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Back to the assistant manager.
Oh, we're backtrack. Okay.
Just a little bit. I just want to talk about that. I think it was funny. She was in our design class, right? And I started working with her, and she didn't put 2 and 2 together. She didn't really, because she'd only seen the back of our heads.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we're in front of her.
I was a lot more
well behaved. I was a monster in high school.
No. I meant like I goofed off with you in class, but like at work, I was a lot more in the work mode.
Well, duh. I mean, I hope you weren't like us.
I know, but some guys are. I've worked with some.
Oh, I was that guy when I worked at Taco Bell. I was that guy. I was like, hey guys, what's up? And I would just like mess around for 5 hours and get paid for it.
But we were talking one day, and I said like, what high school I went to, and she was talking about the high school she went to, and I said that I did some classes at that extra school that they
Did you know who it was at that point?
No, I didn't realize it was her.
You didn't realize it was her either.
No,
because I mean, this was like a year after.
Yeah, she looked familiar, but I didn't know what from.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we live in a small town, so I might have seen her.
Yeah.
But we got talking and found out that we were in that same class together. I'm like, that's you? She's like, wait, were you always with that really loud, obnoxious guy?
That's me, guys.
And I was like, yeah, it was me. She goes, I hated you two so much. You guys pissed me off. And I just laughed. And I was like, I am so sorry. She's like, I hated that class. The kid next to me tried flirting with me the whole time. And you guys were in the front trying to just mess around the whole time. And I was like, it's not my fault no one else in the class listened. Or no one else in the class talked.
The problem is it was dead silent.
It was dead silent.
And I can't do silent.
No. So everyone was just listening to me and you goof off the entire time.
We talked to her, though. And she didn't seem like she hated us.
No, we did talk to her once or twice. But yeah, she didn't.
She didn't seem like...
She said,
so now I don't know how many enemies I've actually made. Because like she would talk to us and she didn't seem too...
No, I don't know if she said necessarily hate, but it was funny. She was like, you guys annoyed me. I hope she's not listening to this and like denying the fact.
If you are, I'm sorry. This is my moment.
You were my favorite coworker.
I haven't talked to you in forever, but I am sorry that you had to deal with me.
I'm sorry you had to deal with him too, and you were my favorite coworker.
I am sorry. I really am. If you need therapy because of me, I'm sorry.
How many of your teachers do you think have gone through therapy?
Elementary school teachers, all of them. High school, early high school, I was a monster. I kind of mellowed out a lot more junior and senior year of high school, and now I'm just there.
Jake, who was in some of the earlier podcasts, went to elementary school with
This is with me.
With Porter.
It was...
And he says it's fun. Jake has seen you recently and talked to you recently since, when we've been playing games.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, he is nothing like he was in elementary school. I'm like, well, we have a long time to grow since that point.
I'm still a goof, but I'm not like a spastic kid like I used to be. So.
That is true.
All right.
Dang. Well, I try to keep these around 40 minutes.
Oh, shoot. Well,
I think we reached that goal pretty easly.
Okay.
I think that was a nice, solid. You'll probably be in another one, but is there anything else you want to say before?
Now I'm on the spot.
Now you're on the spot.
Stay frosty, my friends.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Comment, subscribe, like, share, smash that like button. Tweet me at @TheRealPorter.
Hit that bell.
Hit that bell.
Just please don't.
And Blizzard, please sponsor me.
And with that, we bid you adieu. It's not stopping.